Born and raised in the Bronx, our next guest decided he wanted a change of direction in his life. And after graduating high school, he immediately enrolls into the New York Restaurant School. And over the next 15 years, he worked as a private chef and has run some of the largest Meals on Wheels programs in New York. And guess what? He's giving back to the community as well. Joining us now and sharing more, we've got the executive chef, or I should say the executive sous chef at Compass Group Morrison Senior Living, Levar Fulmore. I got to get it right, man.
All right, man. Thanks,
First of all, good to have you, man.
Thank
you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And great work that you're doing. I mean, you're over at Compass Point, and I should say Compass Group. And in addition to being a Compass Group, you're just this executive chef that's making a huge difference. Talk to me because, as I said in the lead, here you were, and you had this change of direction in your life where you wanted to become a chef, but it wasn't without some bumps in the road.
Yeah. Growing up in the South Bronx, in the Highbridge section of the Bronx, it can be a pretty rough community. And when I enrolled in college, I just light switch kind of switched on for me, and I took it from there. I just went full steam ahead, but I also saw some opportunities to be able to give back to the community, and saw some areas of food insecurity and some other things that needed to be addressed. And I felt like I had the power to make a direct impact, by just, calling in some friends and saying, hey, let's go hand out sandwiches, or let's go, make some food and just give back.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as a chef, obviously, part of what you do is really preparing food, right? Making food. But then here you go on the distribution. But I think when you work so closely to it, I guess there's a sense on your part of what we talk about, the food insecurity that goes on right around the city.
Right. And it, it doesn't take a lot to help out. We waste an amazing amount of food just in our own personal lives and our own homes daily. To repurpose and come up with projects to get people involved in your community where we can repurpose food and give it out to those who may not know where their next meal is coming from, and we can address some of those needs and impact these communities directly, I think is meaningful.
And coming up on Mother's Day weekend, you got something special going on?
Yeah, for Thanksgiving, we had a chance to be out in Harlem on 125th Street and Lenox Avenue, right on the side of Whole Foods, and we set up some tables. I called some chef friends and I said, hey guys, I need some Thanksgiving food, and we had Thanksgiving right there for about 4 or 5 hours, and we have live music playing. And so we're going to do the same thing again for Mother's Day. We're going to be out there at 125th Street and Lenox Avenue. We're going to have a Mother's Day brunch. I mean, we're going to have some really good food, and we're going to have some live music. I have a full band coming out there. I have someone hosting, so it's going to be a good time.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good time.
Protect the block. That's my block. I being in Harlem, Rice High School right there, 120. See, and so to see something like that in the community is really powerful.
Yeah.
But for yourself, what's it like for you being the first? Not the first, but being amongst the first to really take the bull by the horns and say, listen, in this particular area, I can do this, and I can do this and make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had the motto: if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I felt like I can do more. You look on social media, there's just a lot of, you just kind of see people just making food and then that's it. But where's that food going? Is it impacting anybody? Do we still have people who are we walking past people on 125th Street that are hungry? And that's what really stuck out to me, because I go to that area quite frequently, and I just saw some need that I could address directly. Yeah. So that's what motivated us to do what we do.
So you're an executive sous chef. So if somebody who's not familiar says, okay, I know about executive chef, but what's the executive sous chef?
So, an executive chef executive sous chef is more of a managerial role. They don't do as much cooking as a sous chef. A sous chef
so you
may
Gordon
have...
Ramsay is what you're trying to say. You tell them, get your life, get it in order.
Not quite, but I do a lot more managing than cooking. And in the facility that I work at in Westchester County, we have a number of buildings, and we run a number of different programs. We have a rehab building, we have assisted living, and we also have a long-term care facility. So I oversee all of those 3 buildings as far as food preparation. And I answer to my director, my dining services director. But as far as food related, that's what I oversee. So executive chef or executive sous chef does more managing than cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot going on in your life. You got the chef. You're giving back to the community.
Yeah.
Not only you're doing that, you're also doing a little work behind the scenes doing what we do here, huh?
Yeah, I've been a participant with BronxNet from years. I came up around David Jenkins,
Yeah.
very good friend of mine, and had the opportunity to work with him for some time, and was introduced to Max. So always stayed close, and I was able to take some classes here as far as access producer, and then looking forward to some other production classes you have coming up. So yeah, really excited, man.
Yeah,
Really excited.
glad to have you.
Thank you.
What advice do you give somebody? Because you've made the turn,
Yeah.
and you made it successfully, and not without bumps, right?
Yeah.
But you've been able to kind of like find your purpose.
Yeah.
So what advice do you give somebody who may be in that bumpy phase right now? What worked for you that maybe you can pass on?
I've been just really thinking as far as thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Sometimes we try to, do what other people do, but there's always another outlet. There's always a way we can make an impact. I don't have to impact the way another chef is, but can I kind of, think outside the box and do something a little more creative that can address some need? And I think if you think like that as a young person or as a chef that's coming up, that'll go a long way. Mm-hmm. That'll go a long way.
Yeah. So after Mother's Day, what comes next?
After Mother's Day, I'll be in the kitchen at Monroe College. I'm an adjunct professor there. Mm-hmm. So I help run the dining lab throughout the week, which is a restaurant at Monroe College in New Rochelle. So I'll be there. And then we try to do a community event once a month. So after Mother's Day, we'll probably have a community cookout for 4th of July. Probably do something for Father's Day in June. So we just want to keep it going. I mean, the live music, it turns into like a really good time, man. So we want to keep it going. We want to keep those community engagements going on a consistent basis.
I joked earlier about Gordon Ramsay, but the fact is that more people have become aware. Mm-hmm. Gordon Ramsay, Top Chef, we see these shows on television, and it's kind of made culinary a more attractive career. Do you find that more and more people are coming through your doors, like at Monroe College, and seeking a career in this field? Because it does get the media attention, and I think with more exposure, people say, hey, you know what, I might be able to do this.
Yeah, it is. Social media has helped a large part to where more people are being exposed to the culinary field, and more younger people are becoming more engaged with food, and they're open to more experiences. I definitely encourage getting that education as far as food service is concerned, because what we learn in school, in class, in the kitchen, you don't really get that, through watching Instagram or watching something on YouTube. So it's good to go to school and get that education as well.
Yeah. You're a minister as well, and
yes.
So you're literally about feeding people the gospel and feeding people in real life. And so how does that feel for you, being able to do it on both ends?
I do the same thing at church. I'm responsible for community outreach, so I work hand in hand with those who are responsible for like the food pantry. We have a small food pantry at our church, so anybody in the community that we made aware that may be in need. We had a family a few blocks down from our church, and they had a really bad fire, and we made ourselves available to them, as far as any assistance they needed with food. We do the same thing. We do back to school events. We had out book bags, school supplies at the end of the summer, at the beginning of the school year, and we just make ourselves available as far as any kind of assistance, food related. We do that, frequently. Yeah. Very frequently.
Well, Levar, good to have you, man. Thank you so
Daren.
much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And people have to come out Mother's Day and check that out.
Yes,
man.
we'll be out there at 1 p.m.
All right. Want to make sure. Get out to the block, 125th Street, right there by Whole Foods, Lenox Avenue. You can catch Levar about 1 o'clock this Saturday of Mother's Day. That is May 13th. And you can be a part of that giving community. All right. For more information, you can follow him on Instagram at Chef Levar. And there you can see the latest going-ons.